What's good, guys? Quick one today because I'm going to work soon, so got to be a little bit faster than usual. But today, I just want to talk about a job that I've had recently, which the actual job itself is good, but it's more what I've learned about from the job so far that I really appreciate. And the field that I've been doing recently is construction. Construction. I've been a general labourer for the last few months, but it's the things that I've learned, like I said, that are really valuable to me rather than the experience in itself. So the first thing I want to talk about is that generally what I've found is people are unhappy with their career choices. So obviously I've come into this industry completely green, never worked it before. I've done things adjacent, but not the same. So obviously I'm trying to network with people and see what their opinions on their trades are. Because when I first got into the industry, I really like the idea of carpentry and possibly doing a carpentry apprenticeship. But anytime I've spoken to a carpenter, they always say, don't become a carpenter. Or anytime I've spoken to a plasterer, they say, don't become a plasterer. And the usual issues is the same thing. It's usually the wear on the body is too much, the tools are too expensive, not enough money, the money doesn't come fast enough. And I think it's funny because there was nothing stopping them from changing their career of choice at any point in time. They've obviously chosen one thing and stuck with it rather than either trying to branch out or learn a few more bits that they could do within their trade to progress themselves a little bit further. But I've had this weird realization with work in the last year or so that for me personally, I don't necessarily need to enjoy the work to do the work. So with a lot of my security gigs that I do, a lot of the events aren't things that I enjoy, but I want the money bad enough, so I go to them anyway. And it's not the most fulfilling job in the world, and it's not like it's a job of super high notoriety or anything worth screaming or dancing about. But it's it allows me to meet a lot of people. And one guy recently told me that he's a Sparky and he might possibly be able to help me out in the future with work. But he straight told me to my face, blunt as hell, there was no explanation to it. He said, I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate the job that I do, or 9 times out of 10, I'm not enjoying it, but I like the money. And he was like, if you still don't really know what you want to do, just become a Sparky or just become a plumber. That's all I'm hearing because they're the jobs that have the least amount of wear on the body, and yet you get paid the most. Even speaking to some of the guys that I work with on site, they literally come in for 3 hours, 5 hours, and they've made more than I've made in 2 days. And I just think that's wild to me that they're there for less time than me, but because they're specialized, they can make 2 times to 5 times what I make in a week. And obviously now imagine that over a whole year. Not to mention as well, obviously they can do odd jobs around for their friends and family or on the weekends, that kind of thing. I can't really do that because I'm a labourer. The second thing that I really want to talk about that's been emphasized to me is about getting a skill. Now, obviously, the context is within the construction industry because that's where I learned it from. So obviously a trade of some sorts, but I think it applies to the grand scheme of life. Like if I can learn how to do this, that is a skill. And obviously that will help increase my earnings. Now the thing that is interesting about skill is that once you become really good at it, it becomes really easy. So now it's hard for me to get up and record a video and to kind of place a script or to think about what I'm going to do. But if I continue to do this for a year, I can pump them out all the time and be getting paid for it and be getting paid in my sleep. And it would allow me to make money virtually from anywhere in the planet. So I just want you to think about a skill that you could gain, whether it's a trade or something outside of work that you're interested in giving a go. Because realistically, if you want to get ahead of people, you need to stop thinking of money on the hourly or salary like expectations that we're with that are forced down our throats. And you need to be able to multiply your money. So rather than earning what the average of like £100 a day or £120 a day, you need to be able to earn £360 a day, and that puts you 3 times ahead of everyone else. Or if you can make passive income of some sort, that you get your day pay and you're getting paid of the night time whilst you're sleeping, then it's as if you're doing twice the amount of work for half the amount of effort. And I do think that my skill is talking to people, but I think the problem is that I've never liked being on camera, so it's me getting used to this and learning like the SEO kind of side of it and how to pull viewers and engage them and keep them around. That's quite interesting to me because a lot of it is like deep psychological stuff you wouldn't think about, like color theory and like creating emotion in people to click on the video. And then after that, it's about keeping people around, but the hardest part is to get them engaged in the first place. And then the final thing I want to talk about today is, from what I've seen, a lot of the industry, but also life, is not what you know, but who you know. So when I originally started doing labouring, I was given a 2 week contract, and there was no more work after that. So on my second to last day of the contract, I said to the guy that I was reporting to, called Jamie, by any chance, is there any way that you're looking for someone to stay on? He said, to be honest with you, not really. We've got enough people here, but I know someone down the road. Let me call him. And just from me speaking up, asking, which not a lot of people would do nowadays, a lot of people would be scared to do that. He was able to contact another manager about 10 minutes down the road, and he found me work. And originally I felt bad because they already had a labourer at the new site that I'm on, but he weren't pulling his weight. So I turned up on the first day, and 2 hours after turning up, they fired him. And at first, I felt really bad because obviously I didn't want to go there and mess up another man's money. But at the same time, the job market is competitive, and if you're not pulling your own weight, then that's not my fault. But then speaking to my boss, he's saying that going forwards, because he really like we get on with each other and I do my work, that he can put me in contact with one of his former bosses for work, or another guy that he knows is local, or he'll tap me in with someone from the trades that I want to pursue. And that's basically all he preaches to me. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Like if you have an uncle that's been a plumber his whole life, of course it's going to be easier for you to get in to plumbing, because all it takes is a message or a reach out, and that's it. You haven't got to prove yourself to someone. Because the main problem I'm having at the moment is, if I apply for an apprenticeship, I've got to wait to either, yes, I do get it or don't get it, or I have to go the longer way about it, which would be to become a labourer for someone, prove myself to them, and then start the apprenticeship after that. So essentially, you always need to be networking. And as cliche as it sounds, it definitely will make a difference in your life, because you know someone that knows someone that knows someone that's in the field that you're looking to do, and they can give you advice, even if they can't directly get you in, like your foot in the door, but they can at least give you advice to get your foot in the door. But yeah, that was a quick one from me, guys. So just to summarize everything, you need to find a skill that you can monetize, even if it's a trade. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a trade, but even if you want to do content creation or marketing or copywriting, whatever side hustle, if you can monetize that just enough where you can earn the same amount you earn a day, it means that you can eventually work half as hard or half the amount of days that you normally work. And then you can put that effort back into the things that you actually want to do. And then the other points were that people are generally unhappy in their career. Now, yes, a lot of people are unhappy in their career because they find out they're unhappy and they choose to stay, or they're not happy at their company. But just remember that you can always pivot at any time. Obviously, it's easier when you're younger because you haven't got as many responsibilities, and you taking a pivot won't affect you as much as someone that's in their 40s with a family. So if you ever find yourself in an unhappy situation, make sure that you pivot. And the final thing is make sure that you network. Shake everybody's hand in the room because you never know what opportunities they could provide or what advice that they could give to further your goals. So, guys, that's me. I'm about to head to work. Drop the comment construction in the comment section below to let me know that you finished this video. Love.